last year? Can you raise your hands? So you're gonna remember Kimberly Palomino. She was our recipient last year of our Young Forces Award after starting her own organization called Dreams United, where she's put together large groups of people to send letters to children being held in ICE detention. She's now at the University of Michigan, and she's an intern with Immigrants List, and she will be giving the next award.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be back at the Immigrants List annual luncheon, a space that recognizes the tireless dedication of pro-immigration advocates fighting for the right of the immigrant community. My name is Kimberly Palomino. I'm 19 years old, and I'm currently a sophomore at the University of Michigan studying political science. I'm the founder of previously reported of Dreams United, a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to sending letters to children, immigrant children at the southern border in detention centers. Last year, as previously mentioned before, I stood here as a youth recipient of the Youth Voices Award. Today, I'm profoundly touched to see the new generation of dreamers, fighters, and leaders coming along. As a first-generation student and daughter of immigrants, my advocacy journey is shaped by the struggles and joy. I grew up in New York, where I witnessed immigrants waiting for work trucks at local labor hubs, mothers changing out of their work clothes at bus stops to head out to their next job. I watched fathers working on rooftops under the scorching sun, all individuals who I assumed endured treacherous journeys across the Americas and now call the U.S. their home. These images fueled my desire to advocate for undocumented families whose voices are often silenced, like my own. I have seen how immigrants contribute to the American society, even as they yearn for a country that does not often embrace them. Under the Trump administration, the political climate polarized our nation, targeting vulnerable community members, tearing children from their families, and suspending refugee and asylum programs. Just like my parents and thousands of others who endured a perilous journey across the Americas in search for a better future, they put their dreams on a pedestal so I can achieve mine. And for that, I am immensely grateful. I knew that I could not idly sit by, watching fathers, mothers, and children that were being dehumanized, and neither could hundreds of young Latino activists. Rather than feeling diminished, we were empowered by injustice to amplify our desire for reform. This is what propels the Jewish Latino Teen Coalition in Tucson, Arizona, their commitment to social justice in action. JLTC unites socially engaged youth to learn more about their identity and explore public policy, to promote civic engagement as a way to give back to their community. Each year, students select a pressing issues to research. This year, their focus was immigration reform. The 14-member coalition dedicated hours to researching about DACA DREAM Act and the reform of the Asylum Seeker Work Authorization Act of 2023. Meeting with members of Congress, policy organizations, and national leaders to advocate for their issue. Their advocacy for immigrant rights on Capitol Hill is truly remarkable. At such a young age, harnessing such incredible courage to speak to politicians across the political spectrum about one of the nation's most pressing issues currently is truly inspiring. The goal was to make an imprint on Congress members, and I believe that they discovered the power of activism, and that is that it truly holds the desire and change to uplift and represent underrepresented populations. I'm confident that this new generation will carry the torch as past grassroots leaders have. Collective action from the youth can fuel institutional change. And this year, I'm very excited to announce the Jewish Latino Teen Coalition as this year's Youth Voices Award.
Thank you, Kimberly. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oliver Scheinman. First and foremost, thanks to the Immigrants List Civic Action for this special recognition. It's an honor to be here and accept the Youth Voices Award on behalf of the Jewish Latino Teen Coalition. This program has been one of the most transformative experiences of my life, so if it's okay, I'd like to share a little bit about it today. For context, each year, the coalition selects a dozen teens from diverse Jewish and Latino backgrounds from all over Tucson. In our weekly meetings, my peers and I learned about public policy and advocating, and in addition, we were taught leadership development skills and provided with opportunities to explore our own cultural identities and recognize not only what makes us unique, but also what unites us, especially between Jewish and Latino values. The program culminates in an advocacy trip to Washington, D.C. each spring. Our chosen focus this year was immigration reform. As a group of teenagers, we noticed the impact of immigration policies affecting our classmates and friends here in Tucson, a town just 1 hour north of the border. Even though the current climate in D.C. surrounding immigration remains heated, we didn't shy away and chose to meet it head-on in Washington. Before our trip, we met with individuals directly impacted by issues within the immigration system, such as Simba Rusita, a Burundian refugee who sought asylum in Tucson, and immigration policy experts, including a local immigration lawyer, Mo Goldman, who will be running to represent Arizona State. After extensive research on various subtopics of immigration, we developed a plan. Half of us would advocate for the passage of the DREAM Act and updating the eligibility for DACA recipients, and the rest of us, including me, would advocate for the Asylum Seeker Work Authorization Act. Among the many hardships Simba had faced in his journey to citizenship, he was unable to legally work for 180 days after applying for asylum. This hindered his ability to provide for himself and his family. So we took these stories and insights with us to DC, along with personal experiences from members of our coalition, and set off. During our week of advocacy in Washington, we met with 14 members of Congress and their staffers on both sides of the aisle. Some met us with understanding and a promise of further considering our request. Others interrupted our first sentence and grilled us immediately. Regardless of how we were met, we adapted and made the most of each meeting. We weren't looking to change the system overnight. We hoped if we could just make a small impression on a member of Congress, the next time Congress was in session, in the back of their mind was a short meeting with passionate teenagers from Tucson, trying to change a broken system. And maybe they would even tell the person sitting next to them. We returned from DC in early May, and since then we've already seen our ideas spread. Our representative, Juan Ciscomani, posted keynotes from our meeting on his Instagram. The Arizona Daily Star has printed an article of our story in the local newspaper, and the Arizona Jewish Post did the same. Now, to receive this award, we feel inspired to continue our work to make meaningful change for other people who can't necessarily advocate for themselves. Lastly, on behalf of the students in this year's Jewish Latino Teen Coalition, thank you to all the guest speakers at our meetings and the advocacy groups we met with in DC who invested their time and knowledge in us. And also thank you to all the members of Congress and staffers who took the time out of their day to meet and engage with us. And with my peers whom I share this award with, I'm grateful for the opportunity to do this meaningful work together, and I'm honored to accept this award on our behalf. I'm so glad through this experience we've become close friends. I'd like to give a special thanks to two of our amazing mentors, Matt Landau and Brad Goldstein, who unfortunately couldn't be with us here today, whose positivity and encouragement we all admire. And lastly, to the incredible masterminds behind this whole program, Shari Guder and Lisa Kondrak, who are here with me today. Without them, there would be no JLTC, so I can't thank them enough for providing us with this opportunity to grow as people and fight for what we believe in. Finally, on behalf of JLTC, thank you to Immigrants List Civic Action, Ira Kurzban, and John Miyasato for this award and your support. Thank you.